Good evening, everyone. We're so grateful to have you again. And we are sweating up the times in the desert. It's so beautiful. We're gonna send some more information on
Good
weekly.
evening, everybody.
Oops, I don't know what's happened. Hopefully, I didn't totally mess up. But I'm going to at least continue here so we can get it together. Evening, and we call this the Interfaith Reparations Healing Walk. Okay, I think we are good to go. Yeah, let's see what happens when I take this off. Alrighty, put this control dial here. I can see the timer. We have some wonderful things today that we're going to talk about after a short meditation. People ask if we can, be a little bit more sensitive in our information. I do want to say, I said I was going to do this. Some of the things that we're bringing when we say we need your support still. The Buddha, of course, had alms food. When I go to see the nuns, they get alms food, meaning people give them breakfast and lunch and dinner, or they just fill up their pot. They have a little thing that they put their food in. And so we don't live together, many people, right? Intentional communities or communes, right? But on this journey, you can provide and give food to the stay place we're at, to the event place we're at, while we're on the road. You can meet us for water, ice. And then there's also these things. I just got a hold of some of our meditation group members who wanted to fulfill and be able to give us the things that we need. And these are some of the things I'm trying to keep. Um, I love going to the health food restaurants. Shout out to Rainbow Cooperative, Mandela Cooperatives, and all these many other places. This is something called Irish moss and sea moss. Right, it's a powder. We're putting it in our water. I don't know if you know about the minerals and vitamins that happen in sea moss. This is, oops, that's mine. Here is some ginger and some black cohosh. Right, this is powder. There's also lion's mane, and then several other things that we take and keep with us. Because if you're not used to the heat, I'm loving the heat. I'm feeling like, this is why a lot of us go to Mother Africa or to the Caribbean. Here out in the desert, you sweat. And it's a beautiful feeling to see just land and sun. And some of you may live in places like that across the country. But for us here, I'm just so in love. We get very excited in the places that we're staying at. But we have to leave to go to the next spot. Um, so I just wanted to show those things because there are some people that wanted to know, what do we need besides health kits and water, and the food and the alms food and the stay places, most importantly. We do need this type of stuff. There's one more that I take every morning, and I think I left it at home. But we will remind you, because if you see us, you come to a program, don't come empty-handed and say how well good job we're doing. Come with things to bear if you can. The monks won't say that. I'm not a monk or a bikini, so I can say it for them. It's wonderful when someone comes. If you haven't given already, shout out to those that have been giving on Go Give Butter. I wanted to give that shout out first because I said I would today. Give Butter is the way that people have been donating. So I wanted to lift up. There was one in particular person that gave because of her uncle, her uncle who passed. And I think what I'll do tomorrow is just make sure to shout out those members. But you know who you are that's been given it, and it's not, for show that you've given that. But we appreciate you. In starting, I'm a part of the Black Sustainability Network and a part of the New Economy Coalition, and the BIPOC Intentional Community Council, not just the cooperative we have, Intentional Community. These networks are trying to build solidarity economies, are trying to build a new world, right? When we say Octavia Butler, which is just a book, yeah, it's just a book, but my young people, my daughter, recognized, and I didn't have to do the lecture because she read the book and recognized the piece of Octavia writing eloquently. I have a lot of times a problem with myself writing because I don't have time, but she wrote the book where my daughter got it, and that is why we became the Parable of the Sower, not because those of us that were planning through in University St. Penteras, which is how we became cooperative. We were trying to figure out if we should be a cooperative or a union. And we decided as a cooperative, shout out to all my peeps in Jacksonville, Florida with Free Marissa Now, and I am Troy Davis, and New Jim Crow movement. It's because of them that we became a cooperative, knowing that the leadership, meaning those that got degrees or policy workers or even professors and nonprofits, can be on the same table as those that don't get that type of income or research background or political education. And we found that out through our movements. And so when we became the Parable of the Sower, this new economy, like I mentioned about the book, Octavia Butler, is something that we have to be in the streets for. Right? It's one thing, yeah, we need the protests and demonstrations now to be there because of all the many things. But how are we connecting? How are we sitting and having dinner? How are we allowing our young people to put the phones down? The many tactics. We don't have all the solutions, people. I think I get flack because you're talking about solutions we have. It's just the solutions, thank God for my ancestors and my elders who taught me. There's thousands though. And that's why we want to go into these cities, 10 of them here in California, 59 counties, and talk to these people. Why? Because in a People's Movement Assembly, not just the nonprofits, the professors, and the policymakers will make the actions. It will be whoever comes in the door. And when we started this with the University of St. Penteras, University Without Walls, shout out to Southern Movement Assembly, we had professors, we had judges. I think that our judge who was retired, he was like in his 80s. I'm wondering how he is now. And then right next to him was a trans. Next to them was a child who was maybe 7, 8, 9. Next to them was an homeless. And so what I'm saying is, how do you get in a circle with the diversity of who we are and make decisions together where everyone that talks holds the stick, including the child? And we sit there and look at the child if they have nothing to say, just to show that love and mindfulness. It's not about popcorning to see who has the most eloquent notions on this stuff. It's about building the community in regional and at home so that we do it together. And that only can be done through trust. We're not going to talk about the trust that's not in our leaderships and our groups and our everything. We want to try from the lowest of the lowest, because in the presence movements, in the World Social Forums, in the streets where people are finally coming together, they've done People's Movement Assemblies. Let's say before the ones that came to the US. They sat around in the heat of deserts, under trees in the Caribbean, in South America. in Europe and Africa. And they'll come to the tree and they would sit there all day. Remember, nonprofits have only told us 9 to 5. We can't go outside those hours. We can barely sit for 2 hours. But things have happened. And one of the greatest things that I witnessed, I couldn't believe, was seeing what happened to Mubarak in Egypt and the people assembling to do democratic processes on what should happen. I saw that. I don't know who's old enough for that, but there's videos on that. So in that way, we take a step every day to find the love and the brilliance of each other. But we cannot do that just because of where we work, because we're qualified by a resume. On our journey for 10 months, 10 months, 10 states, 10 cities, we will intentionally be connecting with the disabled, the Muslim, the Christian, the Jew, the homeless, the other, as African Americans, but then there are allies. And then there are our allies, indigenous, natives, and Palestinian, and immigrant Mexicans. And our purpose work, despite we are moving through 10 cities in the state of California, is still connected to the liberation and freedom of all those I just mentioned. So this is our 7 o'clock talk. It's only been 8 minutes. And folks had lunch, and because it's so hot, we all decided right after this we're mostly going to bed. We are going into Palm Springs tomorrow. Woo! For those of you that are in Palm Springs or know of Palm Springs, we'll be at the Alajon Baptist Church. I can't pronounce the church, please forgive me. I think it's spelled Alajon. I'll have to put it in the chat as well. Right after our 7 a.m. connection with you. The last thing I did have was bitter melon. It's supposed to be good for that stomach that I have. Shout out to all those mamas who had babies and can't get rid of your stomach yet. But I am very humbled by the opportunity to do this. I've wanted to walk since the last walk that we had, that I was involved with for the Interfaith Pilgrimage of the Middle Passage. And we will be showing that film periodically, very often for a month. We will be showing it. But we just finished with some Eventbrites for some of the groups that we will be meeting with, and the discussion around having PMAs, meaning what is a PMA, why do we need to do it, what are the problems, what are the solutions, what do we want to do about it, who's in the room when you do that? Is it just your peers, or is it the community that should be involved? So let's get into a posture of meditation. Oh, this breeze is so wonderful. So beautiful. And like I said, it's hot. I wanted to lastly for tonight, we have an agenda for every day, and we're not getting through hardly any of it, but we just started yesterday. So it's good to review. This is the Bandera ya Tifa. The Kwanzaa table always has this. The reflection for Juneteenth. Although there is a Juneteenth flag that someone came up with, do not negate the red for the blood of the people, black for the people, that's us, and green for the land. In our journey through 10 cities, eventually 59 counties, we will be talking about the significance of this and why we cannot water it down because people don't like to see this flag, right? Um, and the song is Raise the red, the black, and the green. New African people are being redeemed. Open up your hearts to see. We're on our way to victory, to being free. And so I'm going to leave that because that was one of the notes that we had not done. And the next piece is our meditation. If you have a cushion, feel comfortable, make sure you're feeling comfortable on it. This is a short one. Today, we're going to end at 7:30. Being comfortable is important because if you're practicing like me, I don't cross my legs like I used to. I want to get to that posture again. So it means practicing. But today I have a skirt or a dress. So sitting back in your home place is important. Being able to find a chair that has a cushion or rolling up some blankets or cloth to put under your back is always nice. And lastly, if you have to lay down, if you want to lay down, please do so. Your body will be okay about it. There's no one evaluating this process, right? You can come, which is why Buddha left in the way he did, out of the rituals and the, of where he lived. And many of us who have homesteads and families like that, that say you should be this way in this vein. Oh yeah, what is this? This is a whistle. Yesterday I saw a wolf. And so if you're out in the desert, beautiful road runners, maybe I'll take a picture and put them on it. But this is if in case you feel like you need to sound the whistle so that they will depart or someone will hear you. So yeah, that's what that is. And like I said, we're gonna only go till 7:30, so that's a 15-minute. And once you found your posture, close your eyes. Let's get comfortable. If you put your head down, at least allow if your eyes aren't closed, to look down to take out any distractions. Once you have gotten your body adjusted, just breathe in together a collective breath. Hold that breath, allow all that energy within yourself from that lowest part within the diaphragm. Just come up from your nose and your nose and release through your mouth. Clearing breath, cleansing breath. One more time, breathe in and release. And as we sit in Sangha, witnessing each other, witnessing, building this muscle, and just having practice. I will ring again the three bells, three gongs at 7:30 for those that have to finish and complete for the night. And for the rest of us, we will sit if you want to continue. Zoom and YouTube at 7 in the morning. And we hope we see you then. And take care of yourself and the ones in your home and your community. May you be well. For those of you that wish to continue this practice with us tonight, we're going to go until 8 o'clock. So feel free to stay in your practice if you're here to stay here with us for another half hour. And as we take this last 15 minutes in meditation, allow yourself to try to constantly push the thoughts out of your mind. If you like this, just scrolling to a place of this peace without an agenda of tomorrow's meals, what has happened in your day to day. Free up your mind to be able to just rest. No problem solving, no anticipation, no reckoning, rehearsing what needs to be said to someone or something, or doing work. Just be here. And as your breath enters into your nasal passageway, breathing in that life source of air, releasing out of your mouth. Trying to find a way to just take it in at a pace that seems good. Remembering that there's always going to be dukkha. There's always going to be that pressure and easement and things that will happen before, after, even thinking on those things that have caused harm. You can always go back to your breath. In this world, there will always be the suffering and the harm of those close and far, but you will always have your breath and how you will deal with it. And when the anxiety comes, you can at that moment choose not to subject your body and tense up, but find again your practice, allowing your whole being to walk lighter on this earth, to make better decisions on what needs to happen, and then in Sangha to do it with a group, collectively reasonable on what are the best ways, the guide you have around you, whoever is your guides, and the elders that you know you can go to. All of that comes about from just taking in this breath, being present, knowing that it won't last. That's what the dukkha says. There will always be the suffering. But how you relate to the next suffering, to the next Instagram, to the next report that you get from your children, to the next loved one that's going to maybe be harmed, or an extension of someone else whose family is harmed. How do you take in your breath? Do not let it trigger you to tense and cause more harm to your own being. This practice you've done, if you started with us yesterday, we're so grateful to have you for 30 days as our family. It's what we call Sangha, community. In this new envisioning of a new world, we hold space for you. And for those that have been in Sangha here, Dhamma or any monastery or meditation center, it's always so good to have more community, more loved ones. Thank you for your practice, everyone. Again, we will have 7 o'clock in the morning meditation. And for those of you, like I mentioned, that can get to Palm Springs, we'll be at the Ajalon Baptist Church in North, I think it's North Palm Springs. And also, I forgot, the First Baptist Church, which is also, both of those are in the Black community there. Stay well. Thank you.